Hello everybody, I'm Ben and welcome to another weekly challenge drawing. Now, this week's theme was Astral Spawn, and before I jump into this too much, I just wanted to apologize for the lack of videos. I've been having a lot of difficulty with the screen recording software that I use on my Mac where I do all my drawings, so hopefully you'll forgive me for having bad luck with that. But fortunately I was able to record the progress on this drawing, or these concept drawings. So the theme was Astral Spawn, which with this I kind of went with a similar idea to like deep sea animals. Like what I interpreted Astral Spawn as is like a creature that was born of the stars, like out in space, cold and dead space. So like I was saying about the deep sea, I kind of interpreted it as a sort of creature that wouldn't necessarily be seen by anybody. So like kind of like the anglerfish, where it's this horrific looking thing. I was toying with that idea for these creatures. Like the first one is kind of almost like a floaty, not necessarily a salamander, but kind of like a tadpole, not tadpole. And the second one is kind of like it's got like 3 legs, a tail, and all these bulbous like pustule things growing on it, and like tentacles coming out of its face. So it's not necessarily highly functional, but it's just for fun. So the third one here is taking that even to a whole different level of like different things hanging off of it, and like different bits here and there that like stick out that may have certain functions, but it's not necessarily like something that we necessarily grasp. Like it could be like different perception, sensing things that we just can't sense. Which I kind of like the idea of different perceptions of reality that we don't even perceive, because we're just human. We have our 6 senses, and maybe these creatures have far more senses than that, or like maybe less, but different senses, because they don't necessarily maybe see, or maybe because I mean, if you're out in deep space where there's no light, then you can't really rely on sight, you know? So I went through and like kind of fine-tuned these things a little bit, like trying to give it a little more specific shape, even though they're kind of gelatinous in my mind, at least. I also was toying around with the idea of kind of trying to give it a sort of look of like stars and stuff inside the creatures. Like this third one, I kind of went all out with the whole like physical thing not making total sense to us, in that like it doesn't have a proper head or face or anything like that. It's just kind of almost like a slug with like things growing out of it. But yeah, I think that about wraps up what I came up with for those. So I think I'm gonna go through and fine tune at least one of them. I don't really have a particular preference on them, but I'd like to know what you all think. Like, pick one, one, two, or three, and that wraps that up. So, and this week I didn't receive any submissions, but that's okay. So, the theme for next week is going to be Tombwisp. So, hopefully, you all will submit your ideas. Make sure to leave a comment or like if you like the video. And I'll see you next time. Bye.